right, so here we are. Here we are. Now I'm gonna do a screen share. I'm gonna talk, but I want to make one thing clear. I am not a professional influencer, webcaster, whatever. This is about as good as it's gonna get. And this is recording number two. And at times I'll put my glasses down, and it'll make a little something show up in my glasses from there, and this is about as beautiful as it gets, guys. That's all I'm saying, okay? And please, please, I hope that you'll stick with me. And if you have some, I don't know, issue with the quality of this video, then you're probably not the sort of person that needs to be watching anyhow. All right? I'll just say enough about that. So we see a big W here on the screen and sort of a mystery. We love mysteries. And it says at the top, it says banner wannabe, right? And if you look at it, this is the Unix Linux banner command, which I sent into a crypto transaction. And it says wannabe, really big, right? And so this is actually burned into the ledger along with a little link um, to if you want to listen to that song wannabe, right? That's just one of the things that I burned into the ledger. It's odd and big and strange and sort of breaks everything like uh, your ability to really see things in an easy way. But so let's come back over here, just all this white space, and we see other stuff. I went so far back that I went to a different page. So let's try that again. Okay. And the reason why I'm showing you that is just this is a this is an experimental sort of coding that I do, and that was my last project. And so and I put all sorts of stuff in here. But I do notice that it has some issues with foreign language. See, it's not rendering this delightful little song that I wrote uh, correctly, although it's in the ledger correctly. And I also ran into this same issue. If we get past wannabe, way down, maybe it's after. I think it's after. Makes it a little difficult when you have enormous things. But if there's no rules, then it's whatever happens happens, right? And somewhere here we should see. Here we go. Okay, we also have a picture of a happy face. This is the uh, this is just a coding example that I like to use, and this is rendered in. This is a PNG image, and the entire image is saved to the ledger. So it's funny when people talk about an NFT, they would have an image in an NFT, but they don't write the image into the ledger, which is always perplexing to me because that's the main thing about the NFT is that it is an image. And then, of course, someone will invent this idea that many people have already done and then be the hero anyway. So this, we can also look at this in a different way. And if we come here, this is the transaction of the happy face through this Polygon scan site. So this is another site, and it's looking at it. And here, I'll take my glasses off for right now. So it's looking at it in a different way. See, when I take my glasses off, I lean forward and I look like a hunchback, which is distracting too, I know, or my hair is distracting. I'm just a mess. But like I said, I'm not an influencer. Why don't you get up on here? anyhow, I'm sorry. So see all of this data right here? This is the data of the PNG. It's the data of the PNG right in here. However, I should have sent it in a binary format, and I sent it in the default format, which I had to do a little bit of calculation to make it work to be able to read it back. And the reason why is because of this thing. It's called recursive length prefixing, RLP. Is serialization is used extensively in Ethereum's execution clients. It standardizes the transfer of data between nodes in a space-efficient format. The purpose is to encode arbitrary nested arrays of binary data, and the only purpose of RLP is to encode structure. Well, that's not what I used it for. So what happens is if you have characters that are not in English, they also get pulled into this structure because they're just data, you know. And of course you could have uh, what's to say that you're limiting yourself to English language characters, and so that is uh, that kind of brings me to the next piece of this, which is this right here. So I found an RLP driver and I kind of looked at it, and um, I had another way to derive this by kind of creating a transaction but not sending it to the ledger. But so this is some sort of strange to me, not strange to everybody. I'm sure somebody will say, aha, that is squiggly with a line on it. But um, of course, we want to be able to represent all of these characters, hundreds, thousands, many thousands of different characters. And so this is in normal hex. This is 802, 802. In this RLP, this is E0A082. And there's a simple sort of translation, there. I mean, you can see that the two is the same. Those are both ones. So I'm working to do this. Like I say, I have a driver, but I'm not crazy about it. It came from the world of Node.js, and so I've kind of had to take the Node part out, uh, which is okay. And it's interesting to learn about this stuff. But I also see something it's intriguing to me. So I see a space here. And sometimes when I do this, it reloads the page, which I need to change. So, but if you go, the last DF is it's coming up right here. It's this DFBF, right? But you could send a code for DFFF or DFEF or DFE7, right? But I have no idea how the interpreter would deal with that. But you could also use that in really all the codes before the first one that we see here. It's been assigned meanings, the first of these E codes. You could use all of those codes uh, as escape characters. You could have a vast assortment of escape characters and code really an entire other um, language system into this. Now, some of that may be used in a way that I don't see right now, but I'll look at the driver a little bit more. Actually, maybe read the documentation some, which is somewhat helpful. Um, that could be, how these are um, structured. But I have a feeling there's parts of this that are not used in that structure that you might be able to use as an escape sequence, which would give us things like you could represent things that are represented clumsily in HTML, like color, right? You have to define all your colors, and then you have a little span or division, and then say it's this color, and you can't make a character a color, but perhaps there's ways to do escape codes, right? The If you're in this world, of shell, right? You have colors here based on escape codes. Maybe those escape codes can be brought in. But this is just what I'm playing with right now, and it just goes on. And some of these show up as boxes; they're not rendered correctly. It looks like we're, I would say, into Arabic now. And of course, you have to. This has to be big enough to represent all of the characters. The standardized Chinese characters, Japanese characters. I know there's somebody out there who's interested, who's Japanese, and I mean, how beautiful is this? Like, it's a circle with a little dot on top. I wonder what that means. Who knows? Uh, but but what I do know is that all of this can be stored efficiently in a crypto transaction using this format. Okay, and that's I think that's kind of cool. And the idea, the general idea of storing data in transactions is something that we need to explore a lot more. So instead of necessarily having a smart contract, you could just have a contract, a regular contract, a multicolor, multi-language contract that's not a PDF, but yet can have a richness beyond PDF. PDFs don't have circles. A legal document doesn't have circles and lines on it. Of course, you can represent those in this world quite easily. But whatever, and you can prove that you created that you're the one that signed this. You're the one that put this out in the world. You can prove that, and also you can do that without people understanding who you are. And there's ways to do that. It involves a small bit of what's traditionally called money laundering, but I think that if you're in the 20 to 30 cent range, then it's probably not money laundering, right? I think you have to if using something like Monero to obscure your identity uh, uh, is you know is done to the only to the extent that you need to write this data out, then you're not dealing with much money, you know. So and of course that begs the question, is it illegal to create something with an identity that's been uh, uh, that can't be traced? And I don't think the world is uh, able to grapple with that question yet. I don't think the courts are about 50 years behind. They're still in the world of faxes, and this is a world of multi-language on-chain data code. This can be put into computer. You can put computer programs into this, all sorts of stuff. And here's an example of see the part of this is you have to figure out where the end of one of these characters is and the beginning of the next one, right? And the drivers didn't exactly do that for me, uh, but uh, so I'm looking over it, but I'm also it's fun. It's fun to roll your own thing, create your own thing. Hey, as we say in Texas, you guys have a blessed day.